Hi, I'm Tom Miggett from Tom Miggett Photography. About 2 years ago, I did a video about neutral density filters, and back then I showed you the gear that I used, and at the end of the video I remember I told you that I would actually do a product review about that gear, and it turned out that I've never done it. And over the past 6 months I've actually upgraded my gear, and I've just sold my previous kit and it's about to be shipped away. So I said to myself, this is the last opportunity I have to show you the differences between my old system, my new system, and why I actually upgraded my kit. So back then, during that video, and by the way, if you haven't watched that video, you can click on the link right here, and because I think it's very interesting, and there is an article on the blog following that video with giving you all the detail about different filter holder as to why I use filter holder as well. But let's go very quickly through that again. Back then, the brand that I used was Hitech Formatt. Hitech Formatt are basically two brands that merged together. They're based in UK, and there is another brand as well. It's a French one, and it's called Cokin, and they're very, very similar both in price and in material. And here's a filter holder. So why would you actually use a filter holder in the first place? Well, let's see. You can use filters, regular filters like this one, and they normally screw in front of your lens like so. The problem with those is that they match your filter thread on your lens, but if you have, like me, more than one lens, it turns out that your lenses might not actually share the same diameter, and so you may end up having to buy multiple filters to accommodate your range of lenses. That can end up being very costly, especially when you think that this ND filter, which is a 9-stop from Hoya, the NDX 400, cost about £80. So if I need to buy two, well, most likely that the second one for wide angle lens might even cost more, so it's very, very pricey at the end. By the way, regarding this filter, I don't know if you remember, but I did a video using this filter. You have the link here on the screen, where I did a shoot of waterfalls at the House of Brewer here in Scotland. So back to filter holder. Why are they cost effective? Well, because all you need is one filter holder, and you will need to buy rings, adapter rings that will fit the diameter of your lenses. Here I have one for 67, here I have one for 82 millimeters. So here, if we see here's my lens is 67 millimeter as well. I just screw the ring like so, and then I will slide this system. This is the Formatt system, but this one is the Cokin system. This is the wide angle one. They're interchangeable. They're exactly identical. The reason I wanted a wide angle one is you can't stack up as many filters on it, but it reduces the vignetting when you have wide angle lenses like my 10 to 20 millimeter from Sigma. With this one, I think I start having vignetting only at 12 millimeter. That's APS-C, so that would mean an 18 millimeter full frame equivalent. So how do you actually slide it? Well, basically, I don't know if you guys see, but there's a little insert right here on the other side, and you basically go and slide it in like this, and you need to push the whole thing like so. As you can see, I always found that very, very tricky, cumbersome, and you need to kind of fold. You see here I'm bending the plastic. This is this building plastic, and you're bending it, and I never felt quite comfortable with it. I always thought I was going to break it, but to be honest, more than 2 years down the line, I never broke a single one. So it's still very durable. It costs not a lot of money. I think this costs not even £10 for the filter holder, whereas the filter ring, it costs about £2 or £3 it's only. So it's very cost effective. You can stack up your filters. This model is the 85 millimeter. This is the equivalent of the P series from Cokin, and here's a filter that you just slide on it just like so, and if you wanted, you could stack up another one. So I'm just taking randomly another filter. You might be asking yourself, Tom, what's the point of stacking filters? Well, like I'm doing so here, I'm putting a neutral density filter where the dark area is here, and the other one, the dark area, is at the bottom. And when I slide them in, what you're going to end up is, you can't see it obviously right now, but basically the top part is going to be darker, this bottom part is going to be darker and the middle part is not affected. That's going to be useful in a scene where you're going to have, for example, maybe your lake where the sky is reflected on, and then your sky is already bright, but the water level just behind the lake, that part is already quite well exposed, so you want to make sure that you're going to darken only the sky, the reflection on the water, and the part in the middle stays the same. So that's why you would consider stacking your filters. So it's a very good system. I quite like it. The reason I went for the Hitech Formatt brand instead of the Cokin at the first place is because I found, after doing my own test, that the Cokin provided some color cast. So color cast is basically some colorization that occurs on top of your picture where you had the filters on, and tend to be a warmer color tone from Cokin. On the Hitech Formatt, I couldn't see any color cast per se. I could see only color cast when you stack them up, and that's where you start having some purple bluish color that can occur, but it depends on the situation. It's not all the time. And the reason why I decided to change my gear is because I changed my lenses. I got better lenses, and I needed, I always found that the 85mm was kind of not as wide as I wished the filters were. I needed something wider, and my budget has evolved over the years, thankfully, and I always wanted to go for another brand, which is loved by professionals, dreamt about by amateurs, and that's Lee. And so I bought, about 6 months ago, I bought the foundation kit from Lee. It is a very, very pricey system, extremely expensive, I must say. Don't pay attention to that ring that you have here at the top. This doesn't come with the foundation. It just turned out that I have a polarizing filter and I need a ring at the top of it to screw the filter on top of it. The system is quite similar in a way of the plastic version of Cokin and Hitech, so where you can actually stack up your filters. But here, it's the locking mechanism that is different. So I have rings, like so. The rings cost about £10. So remember, the filter holder here costs £10, but the ring costs about £2, where on the leaf filter is about £10 to £10, 10, 15 pound, even 20 or more when you talk about the polarizing ring right here. For the ring itself, the filter holder cost about £80, so extremely pricey, but it's not plastic, so it's actually very, very good, very durable. And well, actually no, I'm saying it's not plastic. It is kind of a plastic, but it has a lot of metal on it and it's very strong. But the ring is in metal, just like the other one. So if I take this one, which is a 67mm ring, I just screw it on top of the lens like this. Okay, and then the system is you have this locking mechanism knob right here, and what you do is here you have a couple of dents, and that goes inside. You see, it goes inside your ring, and you just need to, once I put it correctly, you need to do that, and it holds. And then obviously you can rotate it according to your need, similar to what you do there, but it's easy to remove and it's easy to put in, whereas the other one, you saw how complicated it is. But it's a different budget. I appreciate that. The nice thing is that it comes with initially all the little screws that you need, because you can customize the way you want to put those threads to stack your filters. It comes with a screwdriver, and all the gear comes always in those little pouch that are really, really well made. The size of the filters I went for is the 100mm version. So it means that it's 100mm wide, but the graduated filter is going to be 150mm in height. And why is it so great? Well, it's brilliant because look what I can do. Slide my filter in, and if I actually don't slide it, if I slide it totally in like this, from a graduated neutral density filter, I end up having a regular standard neutral density filter. I don't need to buy a separate one. So that will depend on the type of lens that you use. Obviously with this one, with a 67mm, it does fit on half of my filter. If you start using 82, it will fit a little bit. I'll still do it, but then if you go wider, it will probably not. In terms of vignetting, yes, you will get some vignetting at wide angle, especially if you start stacking them up like this one with the polarizing filter. To be honest, I'm not worried about vignetting at all. I should do a video about this because you always see reviews of lenses talking about vignetting. To me, it's not an issue. Nowadays, we use Lightroom, we use other programs that remove vignetting. When it comes to heavy vignetting with the polarizing filter on the edges, I just clip the corners at the end. I rebuild them using Photoshop or even Lightroom, so it's definitely not an issue. So I'm just putting the filter back in the pouch. There is a smaller version by Lee. I think they do 80 or 85 as well, and there is another big version. It's the 150mm wide, so it's very wide. For the graduated version, it's going to be 170mm in height, but they do not have a polarizing filter for that version, so you will still need to use the one that I have, and I can show you quickly because it's a big one. It's a kick-ass one. That's 105mm, so you can see here the size comparing to the previous one that I used. Massive one, great quality, extremely expensive. That's about £300 the filter. You've got to be extremely careful with it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to you about it. To talk to you today. This is another filter from Lee, and I'll have the occasion to talk to you about it. This is the big stopper. That's 10 stop of light, similar to the Hoya one, the 9 stop. This is 10 stop, does the same thing. I will do a video with this to get some amazing result and do a complete review of this system. But that's just a quick comparison between the two. Clearly, like I said, it's not the same budget, but amazing gear. I would say for amateurs, and if you really do not have much budget, the Hitech Formatt version is brilliant. I absolutely recommend it. I used it for a very long time. Mine, you would see there are actually a little scratches, but you don't see them in the resulting image. They're fantastic. They're brilliant. And the Lee, well, they're phenomenal. So that's all for today. I know you guys have questions about why using neutral density graduated filter at the first place instead of using Lightroom and the digital version of it. I will answer that. I could actually tell you already, but I want to show you with real examples, so I will cover that in the next few weeks. We'll talk about the polarizing filter, when to use it, why using it, what you can expect from it, and as well as the big stopper. So this is all for today. I hope you found that informative, and until next time, this is Tom Migot saying if you like it, well, capture it and maybe use a filter holder. Ciao.